You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks Podcast Network with your host, Will Huckaby and Mika Villas.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's that time of the week. It's time for the Wrestling Nerdcast. Such an exciting week. Crazy week in the world of professional wrestling. All the things have happened. As usual, this is a fan-supported podcast brought to you every week, courtesy of the Angry Marks Podcast Network, our good friends at Pro Wrestling World, our amazing sponsor, Indie Customs, and our other amazing sponsor, Behavior Driven. Last but not least, I want to say a shout out to my friends over there at Off the Beaten Path, doing some really cool stuff with them. Be sure to stay in touch and follow me on social media. As usual, I am your host, the AIWF World Heavyweight Champion, the World Wrestling Grand Prix Champion, the National Syndicate Wrestling Heavyweight, now it's the Georgia Unified Heavyweight Champion, the Disrespectful Intellectual, the Southern Gentleman, the National Treasure and Reality TV Star, the Incredible Hunk, Will Huckaby. And I'm so excited to talk about all the things that's happened in professional wrestling this week with my co-host. She's one half of the world's cutest commentary team. She is the lover of waffles, the voice of the speech impediment, the receiver of all things unsolicited, the Aphrodite of affection, Miss Hashtag What That Mouth Do, a.k.a. buy her some tacos. The one, the only, Mika Villas. Mika, how was your week?
I was all in this week. I mean, good golly. All In was a week in itself. Let's just jump right in.
Exactly. And because, if you people haven't realized by yet, we're going to talk about the phenomenal success that was All In. Whether you liked it, whether you loved it, complaints, comments, concerns. We're going to talk about All In today. And also joining us on this podcast because he actually watched All In and had some very strong opinions about the show. It's our producer, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, CW. What's up, CW?
Not a goddamn thing.
Well, there's our ratings right off the bat. That's it, Mika. We're already a rated R show.
I mean, we're at TV 14 at the very beginning, so this is still TV 14. We probably will go to, the censors are dying in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah. Thank God the FCC doesn't regulate us. Before we even talk about the matches and stuff, I just want to talk about your overall feelings about the phenomenon that was All In. Mika, I'm gonna start with you first. Mika, what's your overall thoughts and stuff about All In?
I thought it was a very brilliant effort by everyone involved. They did everything they possibly could have done to make this like pretty much indie WrestleMania without riding the WWE's coattails, meaning they didn't have to do it in a city where WWE was putting on a big major pay-per-view earlier in the week or later in the week. They sold out an arena, 11,000, I believe 563 is the number that they actually sold, even though when this first went down, people were saying, oh, the ticket scalpers this and nobody will be there. It'll be an empty arena. They had so many stars, past, present, or indie stars, people who are under WWE Legends contracts.
The Chicago Bears.
the Chicago Bears. The dog, Cody's dog, Pharaoh. I mean, literally and truly just a success of this magnitude, and the wrestling was good too. It's not just the selling out. It's not just having the stars show up. It's about having everybody from fans to workers be all in for this show. So you call it a phenomenon, and that is, I think, accurate. I will call it a very, very great step for all of wrestling. Not just independent wrestling, but just for fans and anybody who has ever laced up a pair or sat down and watched a lockup. This was a win for everybody.
All right, CW, because you almost ruined it for me. I was at a show. Currently, I was wrestling for Capital Wrestling this past weekend and stuff. Saturday the night of the show, so I had to watch the replay. You almost spoiled it for me, man. You was very close to spoiling it for me, but luckily you didn't. What was your thoughts about overall? We're not talking about overall match. We're not talking about individual matches, but overall, what did you think about All In?
Overall, I give it a 7.
Out of 7 out of 10?
10, yes. They had a lot of issues that could have been addressed earlier on. They had some booking issues that I felt could have been changed and made the show better. The match order could have been changed and made the show better. They had audio difficulties that had been, fixed before it got to our ears. So, I mean, that could have been better. Overall, 7 out of 10.
I would say there was a couple of there were a couple of snafus, and of course, this is being their first time, and they swung for the fences with ALLIN and stuff, and I think it was a very valiant effort. I think that overall it was a good show. I would have to agree with you, CW. And I'm going to say it's a 7 out of 10. In my opinion, there were no, as Dave Meltzer would say, there were no 5-star classic matches. But overall, the matches were very solid. The story, some of the matches had stories. Some of them I feel like were just spot fest and stuff. And dream, I guess, indie dream matches. But overall, even with the technical difficulties, I think it was a good show, not only for them, but for indie wrestling overall. So let's get into these matches. First off, they had the over budget battle royal. Is that the name? Was that the name of it? Over budget.
I don't even think that was the first match. I think that was like the second match.
Oh, it was. That's right. The tag match was first, wasn't it?
I don't know. I didn't see the first match. Yeah. So if Mika saw the first match, tell us how the first match was.
I just saw the battle royal.
Yeah, that's where everybody started watching.
Okay. So the first one, I do believe, was the Briscoes. It was
battle royal. Was the battle royal, but you have to go back and look and see what the tag match was. If there was one, I don't know.
Yes, the tag match was the ROH Day One. The Briscoe brothers versus Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian representing SCU. I guess neither one of you guys saw that. Not a bad match, man. The best thing about this match is that it actually made me a fan of Scorpio Sky. I was very lukewarm about him as far as his work goes, as far as his gimmick goes. But in this environment, I really felt like he really rose to his expectations and stuff. Of course, the Briscoe brothers are one of my favorite tag teams of all time. So not a bad match, not a bad way to kick off ALLIN with 4 guys who really know what they're doing. Now we'll get to the over-budget battle royal that had, anybody and everybody. Brian Cage, Jordan Grace, Marco Stunt, Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, am I missing?
Mr. Ass.
Austin Idol. I mean, just the Hurricane. I mean, just everybody in there. CW, what was your thoughts about the over budget battle royal?
It was actually what it was. It was alright. It should not have been the second match card. That's something I feel about. It should not have been second, because when you have something like that many people and everything's crazy, probably shouldn't let the first match in case it goes wrong.
Mika, okay, so hold on before I get to Mika. CW, who or what spots really stood out for you with the battle royal?
Fucking Brian Cage. I love that motherfucker. The more I watch him, the motherfucking more I love him.
Mika, what about you? What was your thoughts about the over-budget battle?
I've seen some clusterfuck battle royals, pardon my French, but this was well done, even though there was a whole lot of busy going on. Bully Ray did his part. He made Marco Stunt and Jordan Grace, along with Brian Cage, of course. He helped make them look like the stars that they are. I saw Marco Stunt at SCI Weekend, and when he was announced for this, I was absolutely delighted because I knew he was going to show the world that, here's this little kid-looking dude who's just going to blow your mind. And if you didn't fall in love with Marco Stunt and his antics and his everything during this match, then you're dead to me, okay? Jordan Grace was the only female, and she's in there and trying to damn deadlift Brian Cage and almost did it,
Yeah, the squat, yes, she tried to squat him. Yeah.
And almost did it. That right there again, you've got your women's evolution, or what have you, when we've been saying for the longest that the women on the independent scene have been out here doing it sometimes better than the boys, and Jordan represented very, very well all all the women in wrestling, especially in independent wrestling, and even later on we'll talk about, but Penelope also did an awesome job showing that, you know what, you keep your eyes on these girls not because they're pretty, but because they're pretty powerful and they will kick your ass. So I really loved what Marco and Jordan brought to this battle royal.
I will tell you what, man. I think that Marco really his value in professional wrestling shot through the roof. I think that the spots that they had for Marco Stunt went over very, very well. I think that the spots they had for Jordan Grace went very, very well. The power bomb on Brian Cage was just ridiculous. And shouts out to Brian Cage for even taking that spot. I loved her. I loved her standing off with Bully Ray. I guess it was like face to chest because, you know, Bully Ray's very, very tall, but I loved how she stood up to him. I think that they really missed the boat on having a moment with Austin Idol and Mr. Ass Billy Gunn. I felt the whole Battle Royal, I was waiting for these two guys to kind of stand off and face each other or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that never happened. My biggest complaint about this battle royal was that there was a lot of fighting on the outside, which really was like, you know, it took away from what a battle royal was supposed to be. It almost felt like it was a scramble match at times and stuff, but not bad at all. Love the fact they had the best friends in there, Chucky T, Trent, and then Trent Beretta, and even Rocky Romero. And then I knew that there was going to be a way. I knew there was no way they was going to have All In and not have Flip Gordon on the show and stuff. So I kind of, you know, his appearance and him winning the Battle Royal for a shot at the ROH World Title, they kind of foreshadowed that. It was like, you know, I knew once he, you know, lost all these matches on the Indies, I had a feeling that he was going to show up in the Battle Royal. So that was it for the pre-show. First match, what was it? Special referee Jerry Lynn. It was MJF versus, who did he wrestle? CW. It was MJF versus.
I don't think that was the first match. First match off the pre-show was Mel versus Daniel.
No, that was second. That was not the first match. It was MJF.
That was second. It was MJF versus. Why do we not know this? And I love MJF.
I can't remember now. Who did he wrestle? Look it up, CW. I had the card right here in front of me, and then it's just like gone now. I have no idea what happened between me setting up and now.
Okay, MJF versus Matt Cross.
That's right, Mad Dog, M-Dog. Not bad. I like it. Well, okay, so CW, what was your thoughts? Did you even see this match, MJF versus Matt Cross with Jerry Lynn?
I saw parts. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay much attention to the whole thing because just the whole fact I don't give a shit about Matt Cross or MJF, so I didn't care.
What, Mika?
I guess I throw a white glove at you, sir, because MJF is better than you and you know it. That's why you didn't care. I like both of the guys. I think I honestly would have had this as my second match. I was a little confused as why this was the opener as opposed to the Stephen Amell Christopher Daniels match, which I thought should have started the show off. It was what it needed to be. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, the best like kick-off match ever, but everybody got their character across. MJF was able to kind of, you know, do his thing, and he is a wonderful heel. And you also had Matt Cross, Son of Havoc, you know, got to do his flippy stuff. I think people who are in the know realize that these two may never see them touch again, considering that they're so far apart as far as, you know, Son of Havoc is on Lucha Underground and MJF is just kind of coming up in the business, not signed any place yet. So that, not a dream match, but just an interesting match. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't spectacular off the chart.
I think that this was a good way to start. I think this was a very safe match to start All In. Out of all the matches for All In, I think that this was probably the safest match that they could start with. It wasn't nothing spectacular. MJF is an amazing character, has an amazing gimmick. Matt Cross, 20-year vet, is a really good ring general. I feel like this match did wonders for MJF as far as his in-ring ability and putting together a match and ring psychology. Great pacing to the match. I would have actually liked the finish. They kind of teased Jerry Lynn getting involved. with the pushing contest, the shoving contest, and his shirt off, and then he put it back on. So I didn't too much like that part of the match. I really would think that it would have been better if MJF would have won the match. I think he should have gotten the rub, especially for the fact that he's only been in the business for 3 years. And no offense to Matt Cross, but he's getting up in age and stuff, and it's about time to start putting a lot of the younger guys over, building up younger talent for the future. Anything else to say about this match, y'all?
Yeah, I can agree with that. It did get a little wonky there. I thought, too, that Jerry Lynn was going to, bust out a move or two, and he got back dressed or whatever. Just a little bit weird. But, yeah, Matt Cross, amazing talent, but MJF definitely should have went over. But then, I guess you have to have some heroes and some villains get trashed.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then the second match, and what was the next match, CW?
That was Amel and Daniels, which should not have been.
Oh.
That motherfucking shit should not have even been on the goddamn pay-per-view itself. That should have been on the fucking pre-show.
All right, we know how CW feels. Mika, Stephen Amell.
I love me some Stephen Amell. Outside of, I'm not even going to put him in the same category as a David Arquette, because at least he is athletic. He's on a show. He's been in a WWE ring. This is now, he's almost a new indie darling. I mean, he was in a WWE ring with Cody, and now he's on All In. It wasn't, again, I thought this should have been first match, the opener, because Daniels was going to take care of Amel. Amel is not a wrestler. He's not trained at all. And I was surprised that Stephen Amell, went through the table and not Daniels. That blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, he's been working out with the guys and stuff. You can tell that he's worked out with the guys, and he's basically kind of learned some basics. He took some hellified bumps, man. That table spot. I was really shocked when he did the coast to coast. Christopher Daniels was just punishing him with those chops. I was very pleased with Stephen Amell's performance because you could tell that he really wanted to give the fans something. A lot of times when you have these celebrities come on the show, they don't take a beating like Stephen Amell did. They have their people there saying, hey, they can't chip a nail and they can't get bruised, they can't get banged up. Stephen Amell took a hellacious beating. I think that this was a smart choice for match number 2 because out of all the matches on the card, this probably was the weakest match. And so you don't want to start the show off with your weakest match by contemporary Booker logic. You kind of want to have your weakest match, so to speak, as the second match. So not a bad choice, not a bad match.
Yeah, it should. You're right, Will. You're right. It should have been the second match of the pre-show. Why?
No, here's the reason why it wouldn't be on the pre-show, because Stephen Amell still is, he's a star. He has a lot of fans with Arrow, and you want those people to pay to see Stephen Amell. A lot of people, like I said, myself included, I thought that he was going to go in there and he was going to kind of call it in. It was going to be a very hokey match, and then he proved us wrong. I don't think a match like that with a star, with a legitimate star, TV show star, whatever, you just don't give away those matches. You would never see Vince McMahon and put Lawrence Taylor on the WrestleMania pre-show. It's just not happening. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, it was a good choice for the second match. Now, after that, what was the next match, CW?
Okay, after that match, we had the female four-way match.
Oh my goodness!
It was.
Let's see.
It was Tessa Blanchard, Chelsea Green, Madison Rayne, and Britt Baker.
First of all, I don't like Chelsea Green's gimmick. It reminds me too much of Sue Young for the most part.
Whoa. We will disagree wholeheartedly. I don't know if you're looking just visually or not, but is so far removed.
I'm looking visually. It reminds me of a Sue Young. The same reason why I'm not a big fan of Aleister Black, because it reminds me of a darker version. Well, the same reason why I don't like Aleister Black or Matt Seidel's gimmick in Impact Wrestling, because they remind me of knockoff Jason Kincaid. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but let me ask CW, what was your thoughts about the women's match?
Honestly, overall, it was a really good match. Overall, it served its purpose. It kept the people entertained. It showed off what the independent female wrestlers can do, and it also helped further the show. That was one of the few matches I feel was in actually the right order on the card.
Mika, what did you think?
These ladies absolutely positively blew the doors open for this whole match. I was like, what? I hate people, I swear. Let me start again. These ladies absolutely positively blew the doors open for this match. Let me correct you about Chelsea's gimmick. Chelsea's gimmick is from her TNA days. She is no longer with TNA, but she was a party girl who got left at the altar, and she turned into this whole crazy bridezilla, not a bride kind of deal where she'd be drunk and, am I still pretty? That was the smeared lipstick, the half wedding, half party outfit, what have you. So it's so far removed from Sue. She's just crazy. Sue's scary. Chelsea's crazy. She's that hot, crazy chick that you're like, hey, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and oh god, this is who I woke up with. That's the whole Britt Baker. I thought it was cute that she gave a shout out to her husband Adam Cole, her boyfriend Adam Cole, by coming out to his old Ring of Honor music. That kind of popped. That's so Britt Baker. Chelsea, I love me some Chelsea Green. She's so solid. Madison Rayne. It sounds funny as I think about it because I was just talking about the beautiful people. Madison Rayne is a veteran. Now she's been in the WWE doing the Mae Young Classic. She's been in TNA, former Knockouts champion. Chelsea's a former Knockouts champion. And now here she is all in being, the veteran that she is with these girls. And then you go to Tessa. What can you say about Tessa? Just talented beyond all belief. Current Knockouts champion. But these girls went in there and they put on a freaking clinic on, 4 ways. If this was the only women's match, well, damn it, this was going to be the best match they possibly could have put on, and they went all out. I mean, we want to compare dives to WWE's women's dives. Let's not, because Brie Bella couldn't clear twice, and all these girls just basically went crazy, jumping out of the ring on each other and just literally killing it. I was so happy with this match because, again, these women have been out here on the independents for a long time, killing it and not getting recognition. So I think that this helped to further independent women's wrestling and what these girls are really out here doing compared to their quote-unquote contemporaries in the WWE.
This match had so many good moments. Excuse me. This match has so many good moments from the entrances, man. Just Madison Rayne looking amazing, looking lean, looking like, she's been hitting the gym, like she's been doing DDP yoga. I don't know, but she was looking lean. She was looking fierce. Like I said, even though I'm not a big fan of Chelsea's gimmick, her entrance was still very good. Like you said, I love the whole shout out to Adam Cole and stuff, doing Brent Baker's entrance and stuff. And then when Tessa comes out and there's her father, there's her stepfather, there's her little brother, she was so what's the word I'm looking for? She was fired up. She was like, hey, I have a point to prove. These ladies killed it. It was an amazing, amazing match. This match is the reason why I tell a lot of guys I don't want to follow a lot of female matches on the indies, because these ladies have a point to prove that the women's revolution is not just in WWE, that the women's revolution is in professional wrestling, period. And if this is what women's wrestling is progressing to, then I think that there's a lot of guys who need to really watch out before they lose their spots permanently. This match it had so many great false finishes. It had so many great spots. Like you said, the dives, they were just going for it, man. I felt really bad. I was watching this match and I was like, shit, who's going to have to follow this? Because, the match after this is really going to have to, up the ante and stuff, man. And I really didn't feel like it did. And speaking of that, CW, go ahead and announce the next match.
The next match for your NWA World Heavyweight Championship was Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes. emerge, and it wasn't at the right spot on the card.
No, it was not. I will admit that. It was not. Especially following those ladies, this was not the match to follow those ladies at all. CW, what was your thoughts about the NWA World Heavyweight title match?
Botched, and botched. They botched the booking, they botched in the ring, and they botched the finish.
Mika?
I think it was how do I put this nicely? I'm being Switzerland here. I love the fact that there was a title change. I honestly did not think they would happen. I love Cody's shout out to his father, his boots 605 on them. I love Brandy's outfit. I mean, the woman looked amazing.
Shout out to her. She had the Beyonce outfit. That's what I call the Beyonce outfit.
She had the look at me, be shiny and distracting because my man is about to win this damn title up in here, and this is our party. We can do what we want to do. I mean, seriously, she looked amazing. She took a freaking elbow. I mean, she did what I feel that a lot of women accompany guys to the ring should do. She took a bullet for the team, man. She took one. Now, on Twitter, I kind of said something to someone who was like, and this is why women shouldn't get in the ring or get involved during men's matches. And I was like, are you kidding me? They train with men. This is how they learn. They don't just train just with women. You have to be able to be a wrestler first, and then you go back as a female and a male. But you're a wrestler. Nobody goes, don't take a hit because you're a girl, or don't take a hit because you're a guy. I was like, that's ridiculous. I said, she is a trained wrestler. Is she the best? No, she took a bump. That's just part of her training, no big deal. Take a bump and keep on going. She was out there later, as you saw, and wasn't selling the injury that much.
and that was my problem right there. It's like no one in that match that she was going to have to take the elbow to the lower back from Nick Aldis. They should have had. First of all, this was bad placing for this match. This match should have went before the women's match because those ladies killed it. But if they knew that, 2 matches later she's going to come out with Flip Gordon, they should have pushed that match back to the 3rd match to give her time to sell. And yes, you're right, she didn't sell it when she came out with Flip, which really pissed me off. She didn't even sell the elbow at the end of the match. Like, she was up there celebrating at the end of the match. Really, really pissed me off.
She celebrated a little bit, and during the end of the match, she's like, "Oh, wait, yeah, I'm supposed to be hurt."
They should have carried her to the back. Like that part of that match more than the botches.
Again, she is a trained wrestler. She took a hit. Yes, she should have sold the back. Yes, she should have sold the back. But she get carried out? No. I mean, in a wrestling match,
Nick Aldis weighs 230 pounds.
So he weighs about 20 pounds more than her husband. She's taking more hits from Cody than that. I'm just saying.
We're not going to get to the thing.
I'm saying he's taking some poundage from Cody. I'm saying.
But for the story, they built it up that she sacrificed her body for her husband. They should have sold that. I mean, Nick Aldis did a great job selling that spot. Like, oh shit, I can't believe I hit her. He did a great job. In my opinion, she didn't.
I'm going to hit with anything he wants to, and if I need to sell, I will. But if not, I'm just a down ass girl.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree with CW that this match was full of a lot of blown spots and botches and miscues. I'm not going to call them blown spots. I'm going to say there are a lot of miscues because it's 2 different styles. Nick Aldis has never worked the WWE style. Cody is still trying to figure out how to work the indie style. The styles just really didn't clash. And in my opinion, it was kind of foreshadowed that Cody was going to get the NWA World Heavyweight title. I think that they did a horrible job of dispelling my belief that Cody wasn't going to win.
I disagree with you again.
We can agree to disagree. I'm just saying
because you said Nick is never worked a WWE style and Cody's still trying to find. Both of these gentlemen have worked in major companies. Cody, yes, WWE. Nick has worked for TNA. Nick has been around the indies and has worked plenty of different styles and shows and what have you. Cody as well worked independent since he left the WWE. He's worked the Evolve. He worked some.
But he's still. It takes a while to get out of that WWE style of wrestling.
And I think that he is out of it. I think that this match, while yes, their chemistry wasn't there because there was no real story, that this was pretty much to give Cody the belt, to pay homage to his father and XYZ, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But I think that the lack of chemistry, less than lack of styles clash, because they played it safe. They played it really safe.
Now, here's my opinion. I feel like CW is going to agree with me on this. I feel like in this match, Nick Aldis should have went over, and went over really uber fucking dirty. Like, he's elbowed Cody's wife in the back, and Cody should have went for the crossroads, and it should have been a foreign object, pull the tights, foot on the ropes. It should have been a super shady pin and stuff, and then have Cody, and then have the rematch somewhere else down the line. Because like you said, Mika, there was really no story. There was really no hatred. They didn't even really feel, to me, it didn't even feel like they were really trying to one up each other and say, hey, I'm better than you. It was just, hey, we have this title, and here, Cody, your dad held it, now you can have it. So that, once again, that's just
my opinion was this match was just to stroke Cody's little ego.
I remember you said that in the group too. You said that, sent that in the message, where you felt like this match was just to stroke his ego. But all right, what's the next match?
Our next match of the night would be, oh my God, Dix. Adam Page versus Joey Janela.
CW, what you got to say about this match?
Why? Just fucking why? Please tell me why. Just the whole match. Yeah, okay, I understand. I understand the match. I understand the psychology. I understand everything up until right about fucking 5 seconds after the bell. And then after that, it was, oh my fucking God, why? Yes, I laughed my ass off, but I shouldn't have.
Mika, here's my thing. I feel like, once again, this was a match that, and I'll agree with you, if they were going to take the Battle Royal off of the pre-show, this could have been the match that could have replaced the Battle Royal on the pre-show, except for the fact that Joey Ryan made an appearance at the end of the match. I will say that I did laugh also when I seen the phalanx of Phallus. You like that? That's my $10 words for the evening. The Joey Ryan spot was hilarious, but Joey Janela works a very, I guess you could say, even though he can work, and don't get me wrong, he can work. I think that this match was more geared towards making sure that Joey Janela had the best match, period. And this match was for the fans who wanted to see some death match, hardcore wrestling without there being death match stuff. Go ahead, CW.
Triple A did it better.
Well, Triple A did do it better, but this is all in. So, but that's my opinion on this match, is that this match was geared to make sure that Joey Janela looked as good as possible. Adam Page is a phenomenal talent. He's going to be a star in the future, man. Like, I'm not going to lie. He's gotten so much better since the G1. I just felt like this match could have replaced the Battle Royal on the pre-show. Mika?
I love this match. I guess I am a Joey Janela fan. I
like Joey Janela. Don't get me wrong. I like Joey Janela as well. I'm just saying, placement-wise for the card. That's all I'm saying.
I think this was fine for me because this kind of brought some more up. The Cody match, the only thing that I was up on was the ending, and I was in the elbow to Brandy. Because, again, I was surprised there was a title change. But with the Janela match, I knew I was going to see some craziness. I saw Penelope come out, and I was like, oh, she is dressed. Take some hits to go in there and do what you're supposed to do as a female accompanying guy to the ring. You got to be able to, hold up your end of the bargain, So here she is in there getting after it, and I'm like, hell yes. Janela and Hangman Page are pulling out tables and chairs and just all types of craziness, because this is a Joey Janela specialty at this point. People want to see, people pay to see, people have heard, and now's their opportunity to get the full Janela experience, if you will. They got the Penelope experience because Penelope got in there and she got, crazy. The Hangman story with the Joey Ryan and the penises, it was funny. It was light at the end. It was ridiculous, but again, it's everything it was supposed to be. If you don't watch Being the Elite, if you don't watch the kind of the antics of the Young Bucks and everybody on their YouTube channel, they did try to recap it, but to understand that this is something that's been going on for a bit, and to see it kind of play out on the quote-unquote big screen was fun to me. I loved it.
I feel like they could have booked somebody. No offense to Adam Page whatsoever. I feel like they could have booked somebody better in there with Joey Janela. I feel like this match, actually, Adam Page versus Joey Janela is something I'd much rather see at Joey Janela's spring break bash. You know what I'm saying? During WrestleMania weekend, this is a match I'd much rather see there. I think if you want to get the full Joey Janela experience, I think that you bring in somebody like a Matt Tremont or an Ace Romero or somebody like that who can really take the fight to Joey Janela and really give the fans something that they haven't seen before. I just really feel like they missed the boat with this match. Speaking about missing the boat, next match, CW.
For your ROH World Heavyweight title, it was Jay Lethal versus Flip Gordon in a match that I never thought Lethal was going to ever lose at all, and he didn't.
Yeah, they really missed the boat on this match. This match was, to me, was just very. Don't get me wrong. I loved. Don't get me wrong. Probably the best entrance of the night, in my opinion, was Jay Lethal coming out with with Randy Savage's actual gear. Don't get me wrong. Probably my favorite entrance of the night, and came out with the Genius, aka Lenny Poffo, who was throwing the frisbees and stuff like he used to do back in WWE. Loved that. Loved how he literally was Macho Man until he got slapped on the shoulder. Like his mannerisms, the way he talked, the way, the Macho Man would actually, when he would Irish whip somebody, he'd grab him by the back of the head to Irish whip. All of Macho Man's mannerisms was amazing and spot on. And then they did the whole shoulder, and then he became Joey Ryan. I mean, he became himself again, and it was flip flop. But I feel like this was a very safe match. I didn't feel like they actually brought anything to the show, besides saying we have an ROH World title match, which is why Sinclair helped them out with the show, and something for Flip Gordon to do. I don't feel like this match really added anything to the ambiance of the show. Mika?
It brought back Black Noel. It gave a shout out, a huge tribute to the Macho Man. It gave Lanny Poffo a stage, a format. It gave Brandy a chance to be Miss Elizabeth, and to add.
Okay, that was funny. Okay, I will admit that was hilarious when Jay Lethal got out and did the whole Macho Man spot with Elizabeth, where he takes her from one corner to the other one. Okay, that was fun. But go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Again, you got to see the athleticism of Flip Gordon, if you were not familiar, because a lot of people have no clue who the hell this kid is. You got to see him on a grander stage, so to speak. Putting him in there with Jay Lethal being Black Machismo, or just straight the Macho Man, who's going to give as good as he's getting and able to help showcase and give the kid the rub. The kid didn't win the title, but he got that rub being in the ring with someone, the skill level and the lineage now of Jay Lethal, because he'll say he's the best first generation wrestler out there. So he did everything that he needed to do for himself to, put himself over being that Macho Man character. Like you said, the mannerisms were spot on, telling Liz to stay in his corner. Brandy, I'm not Liz. It was great. It was comedy, wrestling. It was everything that match needed to be. And there was a title on the line that wasn't going to change hand. Perfect.
CW is not agreeing with you. CW.
I watched that match, and in a title match, you need to, if you want it to be anywhere near, like, say you want to give the person you're trying to give the rub to, you actually want to make it look like they have a chance at winning. I never thought Flip Gordon was going to win it at all. It never.
I didn't either.
It didn't ever look like. It never looked like he got enough momentum built up ahead of Lethal to do it. Like, I'm sitting there going, okay, they're just going back and forth. This is very phoned in filler match type of bullshit. Why the fuck is it in the middle of the pay-per-view? It could have been in a different place on the card and would have achieved the same fucking.
I feel like this match definitely should have went before the NWA title match. That's just my opinion. I think it should have been early on in the card. But all right, next match.
Our next match is probably a better match tonight. Penta L0 versus Kenny Omega.
CW, what did you think? Because I feel very strongly about this show.
Fuck Omega. I love
Okay.
Omega.
Mika?
Let me clarify this real quick. The reason why I said I love Penta and fuck Omega. Omega reminds me of the Japan version of Roman Reigns. He hits his signature move 150,000 times and then goes for the finish.
Mika, what did you think about this, Mika?
It was one of those matches where I wasn't sure what and who was going to win. I really wasn't. I'm a fan of both guys. I like the fact that Kenny had to kind of do the one wing angel with one wing. He had to, reverse the normal hands. I like the fact that Penta was just straight up Penta. That these two guys, I think that was probably maybe their first meeting, or at least on such a grand stage, of course, that both of them brought to the ring exactly who they were. The only disappointing thing for me was that Kenny wasn't like full Omega all dressed up into some costume. I thought he was going to come out and be like, I don't know, we were getting some kind of New Japan G1 special climax entrance, but we just got, hey, there's Kenny, nice gear, whatever.
We got house show Kenny in his house show gear. Seriously.
But I still love the match. It still, for me, was great. A great match.
This match did not live up to the hype for me, for several reasons. Like I said earlier when Mika was talking, I feel like we got house show Kenny Omega doing his house show regular routine shtick. I feel like for some reason there were parts of the matches where I felt like maybe Penta had went out partying the night before in Chicago and was hungover or something, because there was certain spots in the match where he was just a step behind. He didn't have his usual ruthlessness, in my opinion. Him breaking Kenny Omega's arm didn't have the usual snap and vitriol that it usually has in other matches. To me, this match just didn't do it for me like I thought it really did. And I was really looking forward to seeing this match. It was just like I said, it was a good match. It wasn't a G1 finals match. It wasn't like a Wrestle Kingdom match. It wasn't, like a AAA, their big show, AAA Mania match. It wasn't a Bound for Glory match. You would expect for these guys to be semi-main on this show, that they would go balls out. And I felt like they, for the most part, were very safe, didn't want to hurt each other, didn't want to hurt themselves. And I feel like they really struck out with this match. I feel like this was, because of the potential of greatness that this match had, this match was the biggest disappointment of the night for me. I felt like we should have got the best bout machine, and we did, from neither one of these gentlemen. But to the saving grace of the show, which they almost messed up. And CW, I know, even though you didn't say anything, CW, I know it pissed you off. The lights went out, and the lights were down for like 30 seconds. It was awkward.
It was too long, way too damn long.
Yeah, it was awkward. It should have been lights off, lights on. At the most, give us maybe 5 to 10 seconds.
Did y'all not see that long ramp that he had to come down?
He should have been under the ring then, damn it.
He should have been under the ring.
He got off a private plane.
No, that's his problem. That's his problem.
I'm agreeing with CW. Like, it was
Listen, this is not the WWE. This is an indie show.
Yeah,
we can't be having him under there dying. WWE got like snack packs and everything under the ring. We ain't got nothing under the ring here.
They sold 10,000 tickets. To kiss my ass. They sold 10,000 tickets, and the cheapest ticket was like $30-$40. They could afford a fan underneath the ring and some water and Gatorade underneath the ring.
And a bag of Doritos and shit,
Exactly, some beef jerky. But Jericho comes out after a long, awkward moment with the lights being off, where obviously now the fans knew something was going on.
I thought it was the video feed, honestly. I was like, I'm not sure what's happening, because there was some technical difficulty, so I was like, yo, is this a technical difficulty? I can't tell. And then I heard, okay, what's going on? Like, the issue I had with it, they needed a graphic saying, I can still see the graphic active. and then I'd be like, okay, something's happening.
Yes.
But, you know,
But then
I liked it.
Here comes Jericho, the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, attacking Kenny Omega. I don't understand why he would attack Omega if he's the number 2 guy in New Japan. Are we going to see an Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan WrestleMania match where it's 2 guys enter, one person leaves with both belts? I mean, is that what they're building to? I don't know. It made no sense to me. Although, don't get me wrong, I was glad to see Jericho, but I just don't understand why he attacked Omega.
I understand why he attacked Omega. It's to sell tickets because they're going to fight on his crew. Now, I have talked about this entire show a lot of people said yada yada yada, one-off show that the storylines don't matter. But just went back and said you got House Show Kenny. Storylines didn't matter. Should have got better than House Show Kenny.
Exactly. And now the main event, 6-way
semi-main. You forgot one match. We got the semi-main first, and then the main event that got cut the fuck off. So your semi-main would have been the match that had the finish that I didn't fucking agree with at all. It was Okada versus Skrull, and Skrull should have won.
Yes, I will get you that. What was your opinions on the match, man?
Hold on. Who in Bullet Club? Somebody had to take the L. So, I'm sorry, Marty. Marty. You got to take the L.
It should have been Adam Page.
Nah, man. Hangman's got a big penis or something. He can't take that L. Sorry, Marty.
Out of here. CW, what was your thoughts?
The match itself, I was actually invested in, and I did not give a shit that it went over by 12 fucking minutes. I did not give a fuck about that at all. It was a great fucking match. Up right there at the very end where it was so fucking telegraphed that Okada was going to win that it was just like, God damn it.
Oh.
And it was telegraphed. It was very telegraphed.
Yes, the finish really blew it for me. Mika, what did you think about Okada versus Marty?
I don't know if we watched the same show or we watched it with different eyes. I liked Okada. I love that we got a full villain, you know, in his regalia. That we had a Mika in Chicago. That we had Okada dollars flowing down from the ceiling. It was big match feel.
And no balloons.
Balloons? No.
I said, and no balloons. Thank God.
Oh, no balloons. I mean, this was a serious contest between these two gladiators. But man, I guess I was in fangirl mode. I wasn't looking to pick anything apart. I wasn't looking to love anything. I just wanted to be in the moment, and I loved it. I mean, Okada kept coming. Marty wouldn't stay down. I have no complaints at all.
I think that, I will agree with CW that I did not care that this match supposedly went 12 minutes over, because this, hands down, was my favorite match of the night. It was a great story told by 2 amazing performers. We got serious Rainmaker Okada. You had serious Marty Scurll, the villain. These guys, it had, like CW said, it had that big fight feel to it. Like, these gentlemen both had something to prove. That Marty was trying to come up to the heavyweight division, and Okada was basically saying, you might want to come up to the heavyweight division, but you're not going to get your name because of me. Like, I am probably the greatest IWGP heavyweight champion in New Japan history, and I'll be damned if you just a great back and forth. I love how they really told the story of Marty being the junior heavyweight trying to come up to the heavyweights, and really sold that suplex into that. It was a brain buster. I'm sorry. Really sold him fighting to get that brain buster and fighting to get Okada off his feet. I love the fact that you didn't see a bunch of drop kicks from Okada because he really didn't have to. But it was a great story. It was like I said, this was my favorite match. Just like CW said, it was great all the way up till the end when they telegraphed the finish and we knew Okada was going to win. Like, they did great all the way up to the last 60 seconds, and you're like, damn, you guys ruined it right at the end. But that's not enough for me to say that this was a bad match. It was still, probably in my opinion, the best match on the card. Now we have the main event.
The main event, oh God, it was the Golden Elite versus Rey Mysterio, Rey Fenix, and Bandito. And God, It wasn't the best match, and it shouldn't have been
No,
the
it's
main
not.
event. It should not have been the main event.
No, it should not have been. Not after that match with Okada and Scroll. Those guys, and even with the females in the 4-way, like that match was better than this. This in my opinion was an ego match. But CW, what'd you think about it?
We already know it was rushed because the better matches went over. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put that down there. The better matches went over, and it was rushed. I don't agree with how all the bookers had to go over. That was shit. That was straight indie bullshit right there, and Will knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Mika knows what you're talking about.
The booker and all his boys had to go over, except for Marty, and they didn't even bring him back out at the end.
No, they didn't.
They left his ass in the back like, "Fuck you, homie, you lost." Like, wow.
Somebody
Mika,
had to take the L.
It should have been Paige. Paige should have took the L.
Mika, what did you think about the main event?
I didn't feel it was rushed, but looking back now, I could kind of see where it's like, okay, I can see now. This was my first time seeing Bandito, so I was intrigued. I was like, all right, who the hell is this?
Oh, you have missed out, girl. Bandito
I totally missed out.
Shit.
I totally, completely missed out, and I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. Seeing Rey Mysterio in his Wolverine outfit, that's, again, what it's about. You want to give the people what they want. They want to see Rey. They want to see what outfit he's in. And then they want to see some high flying, some jumping around. They want to see the Young Bucks do some super kicks. They want to see the Indy Taker, the Meltzer Driver. They shouldn't have ended with the Meltzer Driver. I thought that was maybe like, no. But whatever, I liked it, and of course, I know, it was funny, but I was like, well, Bullet Club is going to win because, this is their house. Again, I get it, that it should not be, but hey, we brought all this together. Why the hell would I lose?
I feel like, okay, so this match was super spot fest. It was like, this was in AW, they would call this the get your shit in match, because everybody got their shit in. I feel like they really missed out on really showcasing Kota Ibushi versus Bandito. But I love the fact that they had Bandito in this match because now an entire country, the world has been introduced to Bandito, who I've been a huge fan of for years now. And I felt like he should have been introduced in America a long, long time ago to a nationwide American audience. I really feel like he is the Lucha Libre version of what's his name from LIG? Cold Skull. I feel like he's the Lucha Libre where he's so athletic, but people
talking
don't.
about Evil?
No, his tag partner.
Ibushi. I can't think. Well, go ahead.
But Cold Skull. Anyway, but Bandito is amazing. I love these standoff, but I do love the standoff with Rey Mysterio and Kota Ibushi. I feel like the match was definitely rushed because even though the NWA title match went 6 minutes short, the semi-main went 12 minutes over, so therefore they lost some time. But I felt like Kota Ibushi should have gotten the pin. I did like the modified bang for your buck when they included Kota Ibushi in that. I loved all the dives. Ray Phoenix obviously is an athletic specimen. Overall, it was a good, solid match, but it was not main event quality. When you have matches like the semi-main and the female fatal 4-way and stuff, and even Stephen Amell, taking that crazy dive, that crazy bump through the table on the outside, you need to step it up, and these guys didn't step it up. But overall, it was still a very good match, still had some very good feel-good moments. So overall, now with that being said, that's the entire card. We got to hurry up and wrap this up. We're not going to talk about how shitty Raw was tonight. We'll save that because I don't want CW to have an aneurysm. Rumors are already going out that there will be another show. There's been tweets going out saying, hey, I might not have been all in, but I'm definitely going to go all out. What's your opinion? I'm going to ask you first, Mika. Do they have another show? Do they rush
Absolutely.
it?
Absolutely.
Do they wait till next year?
No question. Why wait? Keep this going. Ride this until the wheels fall off. This is hot. It got a lot of press. Outside of just your regular wrestling Twitter, you had major newspapers and I think ESPN covered it, SI covered. So you definitely want to take the momentum and go all out or all in too, whatever you want to call it.
Now here's
definitely going.
okay. Now with that being said, Mika, do they do this before WrestleMania because WrestleMania, ROH and New Japan are holding shows at MSG, or do they wait till after WrestleMania?
I think because this did take them a while to put together. So if you are pumping in the next year, you definitely wait till after Mania.
Hmm.
If you could squeeze it in before to at least steal some dollars to have people consider, not going to Mania or what have you, then you do it if you
People
can
are still
get,
going to go to Mania.
your stuff together. I
People, are,
think, well, no, because remember, next year Mania is in New York, New Jersey. That's an expensive ticket for hotels and all the other stuff. A lot of people, like myself, I don't plan on going to WrestleMania next year. I can get a
what?
hotel for cheap, but New York, New Jersey is just expensive as all hell. You have to have a car. You're gonna have to pay for park. There's just so many more dollars that will have to spend on top of your ticket prices that I'm buying out. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I think a lot of people are like that. I've actually heard a lot of people talk to them a lot, and they say, nah. So if you could get those people like myself who are not going to pay that money into a place where they don't have to spend an arm and a freaking leg and give them some of the names that you gave them plus, then hell yeah, I'll be all in too.
CW, what's your opinion?
My opinion, they need to get a better production team. They need to actually hire a fucking booker instead of doing the same indie bullshit that all indie companies do. They need to hire a fucking booker that knows how to put the card together so that the entire fucking card still tells a story from the start to the finish. Not just the matches, but think of the card as a book and the matches as individual chapters. And guess what? All In did not read like a goddamn book. It ran like a fucking train wreck.
Graphic novel?
No, train wreck. Train fucking. It wasn't even a graphic novel. I couldn't even get off. It was a train wreck.
I will say that there definitely needs to be an all-in to or all-out, whatever you want to call it. I think that they should wait until next fall, late next summer, fall. After WrestleMania, after the G1, where there's really nothing in between the G1 and Wrestle Kingdom in January. I think that that's their optimum time right there, because it's after Triple Mania, it's before Bound for Glory, and before Wrestle Kingdom and stuff. I think that they had the timing on this show perfectly right around Labor Day weekend when people have time off from work, and they might have, because it's the first of the month, people have, they pay their bills or whatever, but they still might have some excess money to spend. And that's my opinion. I definitely think that there's going to be a part 2 to this show. I would agree with CW that they need to talk to somebody, because they were doing so many different things. They still had their crazy, hectic schedules, booking people, getting all the details for booking the show. And CW, me and you have worked together booking shows, and it was hectic booking a small indie show. So booking a show of the magnitude of All In had to be a nightmare. One more question before we wrap it up. I'm going to go with you first, CW. All In 2, the sequel, whatever they want to call it, All In, All Out, whatever, the sequel. Should they have it in Chicago again? And if not Chicago, what city do you think they should go to?
For one, they should not do Chicago, not this soon. What they need to do is they need to take it to a different part of the country, another wrestling city, so that a different fan base can get the same feel that they got, the fan base that was able to attend the original.
All right, so what city? Do they go to Cali, Texas, New York, Florida? Where should they go? Georgia, Atlanta's a wrestling town. Should they go to Atlanta? Should they go to New York? Should they go to LA? Should they go to Houston, San Antonio? What do you think?
I'd say probably San Antonio, to be honest, because while they're about both in the middle of the country. Texas is pretty fucking big. I mean, you can get a lot of fucking people Texas alone. So there's your local sales right there. And that's not even counting on the people that are coming outside of. And then you have to, you could sell package deals, flight tails like the W does. They need to get their shit together. Goddamn it.
Mika, all right. If not Chicago, where to?
I'm stingy on Chicago, but if not my city, then Atlanta. All points lead to Atlanta. There's tons of hotel rooms. You could get them cheap if you're in the right season here in Atlanta. Secondary would be Orlando. Again, I'm looking at where you're going to have transportation to be cheap as far as airfare and hotel accommodations, because they did a weekend. So you don't want to have someone pay an exorbitant amount of money and not feel like they got their money's worth for just one day, one show. They did the star cast beforehand. They had the autograph signing that CM Punk was there even though he wasn't part of officially All In or what have you. So you want to make sure people get their full dollar amount and give them a lot for that weekend. So definitely you want to come to a city where you're not going to spend a lot on hotels because people are you want them to fly in from all over the place. So Atlanta, then maybe Orlando.
Now, I'm about to blow both of y'all minds with this because I don't think they should go. Here's the reason. I don't think they should go back to Chicago for the same reason CW said. I don't think they should do LA because New Japan is really working in LA, trying to get their U.S. shows off the ground. I think Texas is too far away for a lot of people as far as traveling goes. New York, New York is New York, obviously not. I think in Atlanta, while Atlanta may be a good choice, I think the traffic situation in Atlanta, an extra 10 to 11,000 people in Atlanta, it was already horrible during WrestleMania weekend. The hell with that. Dragon Con weekend was this past weekend, and I heard traffic was horrible. In my opinion, I think if they're going to do it an All-In 2, or whatever you want to call it, I think they should do it in Memphis. It's actually local to a lot of other places. It's 8 hours from Atlanta. It's like 7-8 hours from Chicago. It's like maybe 10 hours from Texas actually it's like 6 hours from Killeen, Texas, which is not that far from San Antonio. They have a lot of stuff there. It's a great, rich wrestling community. Jerry Lawler is there, even though I don't like him. We all know why I'm not a huge fan of Jerry Lawler. But Memphis is a great wrestling town. It's a secondary market. And overall, I think that they'll find things a lot cheaper in this, and they'll help their production. Anyway, with that being said, this has been the All-In addition to the Wrestling Nerdcast podcast on the Angry Marks Network. Mika, what you got going on this weekend, girl?
Oh, this weekend I may be all out of wrestling. I'm trying to go to a concert, so I'm also actually working on for later this month. I've got a couple shows that I'm going to do at end of month, 9:30, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. There's also a benefit show. Stay tuned to my social media. I'm going to be doing some backstage reporting coming up for a show. So I am getting my wrestling fix in, but I may not be going too far away from home, and I can't really talk about all that yet. So,
all right. CW, you got anything special going on this week?
This weekend I might act off hot damn.
Well, let's see. For me, Thursday I will be in Bluefield, West Virginia for USA Championship Wrestling. Be sure to check out the Facebook page. Check it out and watch it live as it happens. If you love old school 80s studio style wrestling, you will love the feel to this show. I love doing this show. I love working with the company and stuff. Friday, Mika, I will be in Columbus, Georgia, for defending my what was known as National Syndicate Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, now the Unified Georgia Heavyweight Championship. I will be defending my title in Columbus, Georgia for National Syndicate Wrestling. Saturday, I also think that I will be in Georgia as well. And then Sunday, I will be in Greensboro, North Carolina for Firestar Pro Wrestling. They're doing a student show. I'll be pulling a Mika Villas and having my debut as a commentator for this show. So I'm going to hit up Mika for some tips and stuff about how not to be a bad commentator like Mika.
Fight me.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this has been the Wrestling Nerdcast on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. Huge shout out to our friends and sponsors, the Angry Marks Podcast Network, Behavior Driven, Indie Custom, Pro Wrestling World, and my good friends over there at Off the Beaten Path. For our producer, the one, the only CW, for my co-host, one half of the world's cutest commentary team, the lover of waffles, the voice of the speech impediment, the Aphrodite of affection, the receiver of all things of unsolicited, Chicago win, Miss Hashtag What That Mouth Do, a.k.a. Buy Her a Taco, Mika Villas. I am your AIWF World Heavyweight Champion, your World Wrestling Grand Prix Champion, National Syndicate Wrestling Georgia Unified Champion, the Disrespectful Intellectual, the Southern Gentleman, the Mid-Atlantic Bully, the Morning Star, the Incredible Huck, Will Huckaby, saying peace out, happy Labor Day, and support indie wrestling.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.